Stories are a way that we connect and understand and make sense of everything that's going on in the world. The reason why they're so powerful is because we can see ourselves inside of stories. We can be the character. We can take that on. We can relate to the hero in the story and relate to the triumphs. Hi, I'm Tina Brigley, and I'm a breakthrough results coach and head of social influence at High Performing Coach. I love storytelling. It's such a passion, and I didn't even realize that it was a superpower until I got enough courage to start sharing my story, to start connecting with my audience at a deeper level. Now, if you watch video 1 and video 2, where we talked about how to connect with our own personal stories to speak directly to our niche, we also talked about how to grab the attention of our audience in the first 10 to 20 seconds and how to really do that in different ways to grab their attention. This is video 3 of a 5-part series, and it's about storytelling. You know, when you begin to unpack what your product does for somebody else, the end result, the transformation that you provide in a story, people will connect to that. They will want that. They will want more of that. You see, think about when we were kids and we were learning about stories and plot and character and, you know, the highs and the lows and the dips and the pivots and the climax and the resolution. We've known and learned about storytelling. But sometimes the problem is that coaches don't believe that they're good storytellers or they don't have stories to tell. I'm here to tell you that your story, your life's journey, your highs and your lows are going to connect with people. But the one thing that might be stopping you is your belief that it's important to share. It's not up for you. It's not up to you to decide if it's valuable or not. It's your ideal audience. If they're dealing with what you are dealing with, they are going to decide if they can connect with that. It's your job to share it. Now, think about when you read a piece of content, you know, and you get bullet points. Nobody can relate to that. Life isn't bullet points. First I did this, then I did this, then I did this. No, it's high, it's low, it's breakthroughs, it's breakdowns, it's twists, it's turns, all of that stuff that we make wrong and weird. It's perfect. It's part of life. It's part of our story. We get to share that. But there are some specific strategies to be able to share this in a way that really lands and connects with our audience. Now, I want to share a little story before we begin. And this story takes us back to October when I was sitting in front of my computer screen and my head was down, my hands were in my head, and I was sobbing, tears, crying like a baby. I couldn't catch my breath because in that moment I realized I had been growing my business for 3 years. I had been doing everything that the industry said that I should be doing, and I still wasn't generating revenue. I was among the 80% of coaches that were making less than $20,000 a year. Now, on the outside, it looked like I was this rock star coach. I was online. I had a digital TV show. I had a YouTube channel. I had a social following. I had lots of followers. And people would actually comment, "Oh, I would love to work with you, but I just couldn't afford you." And in my head, I was thinking, what am I doing wrong that people aren't reaching out? They're not connecting with me. I'm not making money. In that moment, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I can't do this on my own. And I don't know what else to do. It's not working. And in that moment, a coach that had been following me for a while reached out and said, "Hey, Tina, what's moving? What's shaking?" I wanted to lie. I wanted to say that everything was fine. I wanted to say that I was doing great and it was perfect. But the other part of me knew that it wasn't fine and it wasn't perfect and I didn't know what else to do. So I sent him a voice message and I said, to be 100% honest, I think I'm going to quit coaching and I'm going to go back to teaching. I don't think I'm cut out to be a coach. I don't think I have what it takes to make an impact in the world. I don't think that this is my calling. He said, whoa, wait a minute. Let's hop on a call. And that conversation changed my life. In that conversation, I broke through a money block. I broke through limiting beliefs. I broke through my frustration, my overwhelm. And what I discovered was that I was a passionate coach. I knew I had a purpose in the world, but I wasn't a purpose-driven entrepreneur. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about growing a business. And nobody ever told me that coaching was a business. I thought it was just a passion. And we got to just make an impact and do things for free. And I didn't really believe that it was possible to make a lot of money being a coach. After this conversation with him, I took the insights that I got and took action. I broke through those barriers. I broke through the wall, and I'm happy to say that now I am a six-figure coach. And before, I would never admit that out loud. Even if I was, I would never want to tell people. And why am I sharing this with you today? Because I know you have passion inside of you. I know that you are a coach that wants to make an impact. And I also know that you might not have been given the tools to become a purpose-driven entrepreneur. Now, what I did was I just shared a story with you. I shared what it was like for me before I had my breakthrough. And maybe you could see yourself in my story. Maybe you could see yourself and think, that is me right now. That is where I am right now. So the first thing you want to do when you're creating your story is set the scene. I told you I was sitting at my computer. I had my arms in my head and I was crying. You know, what I did next is I introduced myself as a character. I was a passionate coach. I was doing everything that the industry said that I should be doing. And it wasn't working. The third thing that I did was I shared my journey. I did what the industry said that I should do. I had a YouTube channel and I had a digital TV show and I was sharing part of my journey with you. Step 4 is there was an obstacle. I was stuck. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know where else to go. I felt like I had exhausted all my resources. And then a coach reached out. So that's step number 5, overcoming the obstacle. I had a coach reach out to me, and in that conversation, I was real. I was honest about where I was at. I wasn't pretending anymore that I was successful in making money. I was successful at being visible online, but I wasn't successful at generating revenue. Then how did I resolve the story? The conversation changed my life. I broke through my money blocks. What I maybe didn't say is that I hired that coach to teach me exactly what to do. Now, what was my point? My point was that if you are where I was, there's help available. So see how I took you on a journey with me. This is what you get to create with your clients. Set the scene. You know, maybe the scene is I was standing in my kitchen and I could barely reach the taps because I was 100 pounds overweight. And in that moment, I realized something has to change. And then you tell them, I wasn't always like this. In high school, I was athletic. I was captain of the cheerleading team. I was healthy and vibrant. What happened to me? How did I get to this point? And then you start sharing your journey. I realized I couldn't do it on my own. So I signed up for a 28-day challenge where I was in a community of people that were just like me, helping me along my journey. And then you talk about the obstacles in the way. My mindset wanted me to stop. Some days it was so hard. I was, started running and I was losing my toenails, like whatever that is. And how do you overcome the obstacle? What did you do to push past those barriers? What was the resolve at the end of the story? What was your journey? I lost 100 pounds in 1 year. And when I lost that 100 pounds, I also ran a half marathon. That's what people want to hear. Whoa, she was just like me. So let's just recap. Step 1, set the scene. 2, introduce the character. Maybe the character is you. Maybe the character is your client. Maybe the character is somebody online. Step 3, talk about the journey. The journey is the highs and the lows, and I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. I didn't want to keep going. Number 4, what were the obstacles that got in your way? What were the things that tried to stop you? Number 5, how did you overcome those obstacles? What is the transformation? Now, if you're a health coach or a relationship coach or a business coach, this is where you get to share your tools to create that transformation in somebody else. It's the tools that you learn to get you from where you were to where you are. And step 6 is resolve the story. How did this take place? And the last part is make the point. What is your point? And sometimes I even say, what's my point? My point is, if you're standing at your kitchen sink and you're 100 pounds overweight and you feel like this is enough, just like me, then I encourage you to, and we'll go into the other details after, but you want to make the point that there's help. There's somebody there who's been where you are at, and it may seem hard now, but the solution is right there. All you have to do is take action. All you have to do is say yes. Now, your story is what is going to draw them in. There's all the lessons in your story. So I hope this resonated. I hope you connected with it. I hope you saw the power in a powerful share. And if you got value and you want to share this with other coaches that you think might get value, I am totally okay with that. And if you aren't already part of our public Facebook group, the link's below, how to attract more committed clients. You can keep up with us. You can learn from us in that group. And if you think that you are where I was at and you want help growing your coaching business to the next level, I encourage you to leave a comment. Let me reach out to you. Let me connect with you. And maybe this may be the relationship that changes your life. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next part 4 of how to create content that connects with your audience. Talk to you soon.